So I want to talk to you a little bit about why copying major influencers doesn't work and what you should be doing instead. Because a lot of mental health professionals, they come to me and they want to start their coaching career and they want to make a bigger difference in the world. And so what they start doing is they start looking at people like Marianne Williamson. They start looking at people like Esther Perel. They start looking at people like Jordan Peterson. They start looking at people like Gabby Bernstein, right? And so what they do is they look at where these people are and what they're doing, what they're offering, and try to do the same thing. And that almost never works. Here's what you need to do instead. And I'm going to start by explaining why it doesn't work. So this is Gabby Bernstein right here. She's a good example. She's a pretty famous coach, and what mental health professionals do is they go and they look at her and they go and look at people like her and they see that, she has a podcast. You can see that advertised just close to the top of this screenshot here, and she has some books, and so they think about, well, how do I start writing a book? Maybe I need to write a book. And she has this manifesting meditations call to action on our website, so they start thinking, well, okay, I need to come up with some kind of, it's called a lead magnet, and I'm going to create this lead magnet, and that's going to solve my problems, and thousands of people are going to download it, and then I'm going to be really famous. And then they start looking at, well, how does Gabby make money? And so they take a look at things like her Miracle membership, where she's charging $114 every 6 months, or $190 for a year. And so they start coming up with these products saying, well, this is all that people can afford. And so I'm going to create this $100 product or $200 product that I'm going to start selling. And I'm going to be like Gabby Bernstein, and I'm going to be famous like Gabby Bernstein. I'm not really sure how that's going to happen, but this is the strategy they see in the market that's popular, and so this is what they try to copy. And they're completely missing the fact that Gabby Bernstein has been in business for 10 years or longer than 10 years by this point, and she's gone through several phases in her business. And so the reason why Gabby Bernstein can make a lot of money with $100 or a $200 course is because she has, as you can see here, 782,000 followers on Facebook. She has 1.2 million followers on Instagram. She is very well known already. Same with Marianne Williamson, right? You can see she has this transformational workshop that she's selling for $199, right? Well, she has 826,000 followers on Facebook. So when you have that, you can get away with selling these it's called a low ticket product, and be very, very successful with it. But if you don't have an audience, you can't, right? And what you have to understand is there's stages to a coaching career. And it's true that Marianne Williamson and Gabby Bernstein, those kinds of folks, didn't start by selling for thousands of dollars necessarily, but the market has also developed underneath them. They're the people who established a market, but different tiers of the market have now established underneath them. And what you're best off doing is following the stages of a coaching career that can make you successful today and in today's market, and to do it patiently and to do it piece by piece, rather than trying to jump all the way into the types of businesses that Marianne Williamson and Gabby Bernstein and all these people are in. So let's take a look at the stages of the coaching career, and this will help you to understand what I'm articulating to you. Okay, so let's say you're just starting your coaching career, and you might have been in mental health for 20 years by this point, but you're new to the coaching phase, and so you have little or no following. Very, very few people know who you are. That automatically means that you are unable to sell thousands of units of low-price products every month. If nobody knows who you are, you can't sell enough of these units in order for you to be able to be successful. So what's the right product for you to launch? The right product for you to launch is not something like Gabby Bernstein or Marianne Williamson is doing. What you're going to do is create a $2,500 plus coaching program and focus on selling that to 5 to 10 people per month. That is much more realistic. Now, people say, oh, well, if Gabby Bernstein is selling a $100 course, how can I sell a $2,500 coaching program? Simple. You will have intensive support in that program. People are hiring you personally to have a personal relationship with you in your coaching program where you walk with them for the next 3 or 4 months as they solve the problem that you're going to help them solve in their life. And that's what makes it worth $2,500, because you're actually helping people to solve a problem in a very intensive way. And what we actually do to make you successful in here is we help to market to the right kinds of problems that are solving this problem is worth that amount of money to the person who will buy this program. And that in itself is a $1.4 billion industry in the US. You can be very successful just doing this for the rest of your career. Okay? But if you want to take it further, only once you have solved this model, only once you have become successful with this model, can you proceed into selling things for a very small amount of money. So let's say you reach about $1 million in annual revenue with a $2,500 coaching program. And through marketing this $2,500 coaching program, you've built about 100,000 followers. That's probably going to take you a few years to get to this point, okay? And it's, really building a business piece by piece, okay? But once you reach this point, you have $1 million in annual revenue, you have 100,000 followers, this is when you can take your next big bet, your next big risk to elevate yourself to the level of some of the major influencers who are out there. And so what that does is this brings you to the point where you make like a $500,000 marketing investment, and that's what supports you getting to New York Times bestseller author status. So newsflash, becoming a New York Times bestselling author doesn't take being discovered and having a publisher make you a big star. No, it takes investing in the right help and the right types of marketing and the right types of publicists who will actually elevate you to the level of having a successful New York Times best-selling book, okay? It's a strategy. There's a very specific strategy to get you there, and it's going to cost you a lot of money. But once you're up at $1 million in annual revenue, that's when you can place your next big bet and elevate yourself to having a huge number of followers as a result of becoming this New York Times best-selling author and building a big platform. And your marketing investments, as I'm alluding to right now, they start to change. They start to move from what's called direct response marketing, investing $5 in order to make $50 coming back in client revenue within a couple of weeks. That's direct response marketing. What you start doing is you invest in big budget publicity, which is going to get you into the magazines and the newspapers and onto the daytime TV and all these kinds of things. So you're spreading your message at a far larger level. Then and only then is the correct model for you to sell thousands of low-price courses per month and be successful. And when you're selling thousands of low-price courses per month, you're only really able to sell information at this point to a ton of people because you have so many customers that you can't really provide meaningful support, okay? I mean, Marianne Williamson, Gabby Bernstein, they don't know who's buying their courses. They don't know these people. They're just selling information, you see? Now, here's the critical problem. Everybody sees what Gabby Bernstein and Marianne Williamson are doing, and so they start by copying their model, selling these low-priced online courses, and 99% of people are going to fail miserably at doing that because what they're trying to do is they're trying to copy somebody who is in a late stage of their coaching career when they're in the very early stages of their coaching career, and that is a recipe for failure. So if you want to know the right way in detail for how to be successful with a coaching program, if you want to understand the model that you should use when you're just starting out, I've made a video that explains it properly. So head on over to thepowerfulpractice.com and watch the video there. In there, I'm going to be teaching you exactly what is the right model to use to start a coaching program from ground zero with no following and become successful to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars a year quickly. And then from there, once you reach that point, you have a choice. You can either go and make the investments and the growth in your business to be one of these big time influencers if you want to, or you can just have a better work-life balance using the coaching model than you can with individual traditional therapy. So if you want to know more, head on over to thepowerfulpractice.com, watch the full description, and if you want to have a discussion about how we can actually implement this for you, there's a button on there to book a call with me, and we can actually discuss how we can implement this into your practice for you. Thanks.